Welcome everybody back to another episode of Two Fat Guys in a Dream. Of course, I'm your host with the most, Truman C. Machine Steen. As always, I'm joined here by my father, Scott Steen. Scott, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Truman. How about yourself?
Doing all right. I'm doing okay.
Made it back from Chicago okay?
I did. I survived. I didn't
Excellent.
healthily survive, but I'm back here.
You survived, you didn't thrive, huh?
Yeah, I took my lumps. Slipped on the sidewalk at one point, but hopped right back up. It was all right.
How many people from your company were with you when you did that?
Nobody. Would you believe that?
Oh, good.
No, I was walking back on my own from I had to get back because I had an early meeting the next day, so I left one of my coworkers at the bar with clients, and then I was walking back, and I know you guys got that same freezing rain Monday night,
yeah,
and man, everything was slicker than shit, and I came around that corner, and I just lost it, landed on my hip, got back up, no problem. Actually, ironically, the bar that was on that corner had already closed, and there was people out there smoking a blunt, and they didn't even notice me until I was getting up, and they were like, "Oh shit, do you want to take a hit of this?" And I was like,
insert jokes here.
What?
Insert joke here. People
Yeah.
that smoking didn't notice you.
Yeah, so I was like, no, I'm all right. And I just got up and finished going back to our Airbnb. So all in all, nothing mattered, but I mean, I guess glad that I'm athletic, I guess. I will say, we talk about this a lot. Football, the number one thing that football has taught me is how to fall correctly.
Yep.
Without catching myself dumbly breaking any bones on dumb stuff, just.
And you'll see it in the NFL as those guys start to fall like into the end zone and something. You see them, they all tuck and roll. Nobody ever sticks their arm out.
No,
they all just roll, and of course they pop right back up on the other side, But
I'm still in popping back up territory. I'll tell you what, I had a wedding in West Virginia where it was outside, and I was wearing dress shoes, and we had to go run and pick up stuff. Like it was like a wedding game or whatever, and the dance floor, they put a dance floor out there that was just like paneling. And I ran back with my dress shoes on, covered in they were probably covered in dirt from the grass of the rest of the wedding. And I slipped right when I got on there. And there's a pretty good photo of me just like on my side as I land, but perfect form on how to land,
Yeah, I remember when I used to be able to fall down and not be injured for 6 weeks. It's good times. Good times. Enjoy it, son. Enjoy it.
Thank you. All right, so let's get into it. Let's do a little recap here. Do a little personal health review. One of us had a better week than the other one. And not the one that I guess I had a better week last week. So not that way. I had a bad week actually. We'll talk about it here in the challenge round, but in the challenge recap and then our future challenges and what we're going on. But I did not do as well. I thought there'd be healthier options. There were not. I simply did not eat well. I did not. The hospitality event, when you're doing hospitality and you can't order your own food, it does get a little harder. But I don't. But I can use that as an excuse, and I shouldn't. There was times that I had chances to order food, and I would say being exhausted, and I just fell into bad habits. It was like, you're quickly eating something. You're at a bar and grill where you're like, dude, give me a cheeseburger, and I'll move on with my life. Should have been a salad.
Right.
Should have been doing something else, and shouldn't be. But I allowed my focus to slip. I think we've talked about this a lot. I'm in a better person. I'm in a better rotation when I'm working out and getting up and going. It helps focus me in for the rest of my day. And I wasn't working out when I was in Chicago. We didn't have a bar. We didn't have a workout place. It was slicker than shit and snowy and a big city that I don't know. So I wasn't getting up to go run, and there wasn't a gym inside the place. All that to say, I gained 3.6 pounds. I'm up to 257.1. Back under 30% of my progress, which is, again, frustrating a little bit. But, you track it. You hope to move on. You hope to keep going. You hope to have a better week. You hope to have a week, perhaps, like you had, Scott.
Right. So here's how this went. We recorded we made a commitment to record on Thursdays, to weigh in on Thursdays. That's going to be our new day. We're going to weigh, record same day, much less confusion.
Yep.
Except last week when we had to do it on Wednesday because you had Thursday plans, and of course Friday you were going out of town. So we recorded on Wednesday. I gave you my weight that I guessed I would be Thursday morning based on how I'd done that week and how I had ate that day. I was incorrect. So I actually weighed more than I told you. So my previous week was shittier than I thought. Okay. What did I think I gave you 324.9.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So it ended up being 325.4 on Thursday.
Wow. Okay.
So I'd made the commitment that I was going to flip the switch starting on Friday. So that ended up being, I'm trying to check my dates here. Okay, because I don't have it written by. Okay, so yeah, so Friday was the day I started. I weighed in Friday morning at 326.8. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So as of this morning, six days later, I weighed at 316.1.
Woo. Huge week. Huge week.
And for those of you that are regulars to the show and have been with us a while, no, I was not sick. I was not expelling everything, losing water weight. It was legit. We flipped the switch. First day I lost 4.3, 2.6, 1.2, 1.1, break even 1.5.
Damn.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
You know, I
Oh,
and I told you I thought the early weight would come off pretty quick. I said maybe for 2 or 3 weeks we could lose 5 pounds a week. I did not expect that. I did not expect those kind of results.
I mean, we
So
talked about it. Your body wants to snap back. Your body wants to be healthy, right? And having one bad week, having 2 bad weeks, it doesn't sink you. Your body wants to go back to, your body doesn't want to be this way, right? Your body wants to
right,
do the best thing it can to survive. And being heavy, having this extra weight on there, isn't exactly the best way to survive. So it wants to snap back cold. It wants to snap back and help you lose weight especially when you're eating well and eating healthily. And you're doing that, probably no exercise, right? I assume you're still probably not able to get out there much
no, I doing some. I probably did 30 minutes total of walking in the house
throughout the
in
week.
3 to 4 minute stretches. Not just. I mean, intentional walking. Like
Yeah.
this is. I'm going to time it and walk it, and not just fucking.
Is that per day or is that
That's total. No,
total?
I'm trying to work up to about 20, 30 minutes a day, 5, 6 days a week, but we ain't there yet. So,
Right. No. Yeah. But
but it's pretty standard that at my age, weight loss is going to be about 90% diet.
yeah.
The main thing you want to do with exercise is kind of try to get rid of some of that visceral fat and build muscle, because that's one of the big things of aging is you start to lose muscle. So,
Mm.
um, that's the story there. So, yeah, basically, Truman, I flipped the switch. It's the first time since we've been doing this that I've had no shit carbs. Not a bite, not a chip, not a fry, not give me a taste of that, nothing. We've had 2 pans of brownies go through here. I've had bags of chips sitting in the chip spot, and none of it,
Mm.
not one. And 100 ounces of water a day. I made a
Nice.
commitment to do that. I bought a jug on Amazon. I bought one of those
Yeah.
60. I got a big glass jug,
Mm-hmm.
and I start my day, try to before 1 o'clock or so, drink 4 8-ounce glasses of water, and then I go to my jug and try to drain that by the end of the night, and then put a little 4 ounces on top as I go to bed for my 100 ounces. So
I think
those
that's
are
what
the
I
two.
need to be doing, honestly. It's just like setting timers of like, okay, you got to clear water by this time. Because I simply don't drink enough water. I don't.
Right.
And
So I don't know
yeah.
how much that helped. I know it was the two things I did in concert together. I don't know if they are if you could do one without. I mean, you can't do one without the other. It doesn't matter how much water you drink if you're eating fucking burgers and fries and shit. But um,
Yeah.
yeah, that's. I feel great. I feel it feels manageable. I told you that I'd set up my goal to be under 200 by the end of this year. At one point, I was plus. My track was plus 29, and it's now plus 20. So
Nice.
that's a good
Wow.
that's a good feeling that I've knocked out almost a third of that to get back on track for what I need to be. So anyway,
Catching up. Catching up.
I got nothing but good news, man. I dreaded doing the last two shows. I dreaded doing the first one because I'd gained 20 fucking pounds since the last time we talked, and then
Right.
uh, we kind of ran in place there, and I wanted to make sure I was committed to doing this. So I had a bad week, last week, and then I'm like, okay, we're gonna fucking do it. And there's something about the mindset of thinking of that food as poison
Yeah.
that keeps you from eating a little bit of it,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
And obviously a chip wouldn't hurt, a fry wouldn't hurt, but it's just the principle, man. I'm
We
not telling you I'm going to be able to do what Gary did and never ever 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 cheat. I'm going to do it a week at a time, man. I'm going to do it a week at a time. At the end of 4 weeks, we're going to see where we're at. We're going to see if it was worth it and see if we want to continue it. Spoiler alert, an odds-on favorite right now to continue it.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes.
Was it Jerome Tang says 1-0, what's next? That's what he says,
And that's how I feel.
It'll
And
work.
it's almost like, and I've never done the, any of the 12-step programs or anything like that, but that's the way I feel. You get up that day and you conquer that fucking day.
Mm-hmm.
You conquer that meal, you conquer the next meal, and then you get up and you do it again, and then all of a sudden it's a week, and all of a sudden it's 2 weeks, and all of a sudden it's a month. So
Yeah.
bad habits, I mean good habits and bad habits tend to pile up and avalanche. So that's it, man. That's it. And I sent you my stats. You saw what I was doing, averaging about 52 carbs a day. Um, had tons of fat, 102 fucking grams of fat a day. Nothing,
Hmm.
nothing. And then what was my sugar? 14 or so, I think, or 12. I
Yeah,
don't know
something
that it was
pretty. It
that.
was very low. It was very. I mean, it
Well,
was
20,
within
20
a
is my
manageable
goal.
range, right? Yeah, and you're
So
below the goal, so even better.
right,
Yeah,
right.
14. 14 is what you had. Yeah, your net carbs, you're at 52 per day. That's great. Uh,
65 is my carb goal.
mm-hmm.
So, but honestly, I eat a couple of high fiber bread products just to get fiber in me.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it for carbs, other than the stuff that's in the food. You'll eat like a couple pieces of ham may have two carbs or one carb. So you're gonna pick up extraneous carbs
What
in stuff. But
what was your calories looking like?
I was 1800 was my goal. And I didn't that app doesn't average your calories, but just back of the napkin, I'm gonna guess I would be somewhere in the 1650 to 1700 range per
Okay,
day.
so an a maintainable range. I worry that with not getting enough. If you're not that close on carbs and you're not that close on protein, that I worry about. How close you are
Right.
on calories because 1400 or 1300, that's not a realistic thing to maintain for
For
a
guys.
male over a male. Yeah, in general, yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's 1800
That's
is about as low as it can get, really,
and
or
mom,
1500 if
correct.
you're on a big cut.
I think dudes need about 300 more calories a day, or that's what they're allowed if you're looking to lose the same amount of weight. I know it's in the ballpark.
I,
Mom would
I
know
think
though.
like lowest you can go is like 1200 for girls and 1500 for guys, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think that's about right. So 1800, that's a good number for me. And I will say this. I told you this when we texted earlier. The only shit carbs I allow myself, I have 3/4 of a serving of mini pretzels, and I put them beside my bed at night, and because I still have a kind of a nighttime snack thing, so I still do that, and those are carbs that obviously I allow. But no other carbs. No, I've had no potatoes, I've had no rice, I've had no pasta, none of that
Right.
shit.
Well, and pretzels
So,
don't taste that good anyways, so no problem.
no, and they kind of have a governor built in. You
Yeah.
give me a can of Pringles
Oh
and
yeah.
you say you have to eat this whole can of Pringles, like fuck, no problem. You give me a bag of pretzels, I'm like no,
I didn't even hear a word you said. I was too busy eating the Pringles already.
it's
It's
exactly right.
yeah. I don't know if I could
Um,
slam through a can of a bag of pretzels.
so I mean, dude, I get up in the morning, I make myself like 4 eggs,
Yeah.
some sort of meat. I've got sausage, I've got ham, I've got ground beef. One of my favorite things is or ground turkey. One of my favorite things is to take about 5 ounces of ground turkey, brown it up, a little onion, a little garlic, pour the eggs on top of it, and it just pour liquid eggs, and it just
Hmm.
kind of get a little a little ground turkey scramble there, put some hot sauce on it. Great breakfast, man.
See,
Great breakfast.
that's my only issue I run into is I love a good breakfast, but
Hmm.
man, I hate warmed up eggs. Like I've tried to make egg bites in the past or something, so I can just have like a good solid breakfast. And I hate the texture of them. They always get a little rubbery or a little. It's hard to have good warmed up microwaved eggs, you know. So it's like, and maybe that's something I need to figure out. I need to figure out a way to make time to add
I won-
15 minutes into my routine to make an omelet real quick and take it, you know, or something.
Well, I wonder if you made like a scramble like I'm doing, where you keep the eggs from all being in one piece. If it wouldn't be a little less spongy, if just the pieces of eggs would be more palatable to you.
I have no idea.
Um,
It's one of those things I haven't taken home, you know, I haven't taken home eggs from a restaurant in a long time because one,
sure,
it's one of the first things I eat. And, you know, it's
right.
never unhealthy to eat it where I'm like, okay, this is good calories. So I don't know. It's one of those things that I think a lot of success in meal prepping and things like that is like you find something you can eat over and over and over again, or find a way that
Mhm.
you can be healthy quickly, conveniently, in a way that you enjoy every time. And that is
I
like
am
I struggle with
I'm
that
lucky.
sometimes.
I am lucky in that regard, in that I don't really care if I eat the same thing every day.
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
care.
Hmm.
If it works, it's healthy. Your mom has to have variety, and most people I think are like that. I think most
I
people.
can mostly eat the same thing every day. I really it's like I'm all right with that. You know.
So especially if it's healthy. So anyway,
Okay.
um, so I would call my challenge a success.
Yes.
Yours, not so
Failed.
much.
No, epically failed. No, I my goal was to stay away from fried foods. Hospitality events. Love fried foods. I'll tell you that much. Listen, it's like I think it's
Well,
one
if
of those
you've
things.
ever been to a hospitality suite, you're seeing chicken wings, you're seeing taquitos, you're seeing
Yep.
chips and salsa.
Mac
Maybe
and
you
cheese
got a plate of
bites.
vegetables, but how many fucking pieces of celery and broccoli and carrots can you eat? That's
Right. I mean, I loaded up on like art. Like I remember I had the best hospitality event health wise that I had. There was one where it had like meat and cheese trays, which aren't
okay.
necessarily the worst thing in the world, and then it
Fine.
had a
Eat
fairly
it all up.
interesting amount of different things where it had like a grilled chicken on a stick that you dipped in
Okay.
hummus, and like it had kind of like I'd call it almost a Mediterranean veggie tray where it was like artichoke hearts, cherry tomatoes, very similar to the stuff we had at Cascones up north when they do a little bit of olive and cheese surface. It was almost
Hmm.
like a plate of that with a couple artichoke hearts, just more Italian, more Mediterranean, and then it had other things that weren't as good. But like that was the best one where I was like, okay, cool. So I slammed some artichoke hearts, I ate some pieces of cheese, I ate some grilled chicken. Uh, but that was certainly an outlier. A lot of the time it's like you're saying, chicken wings, uh, mac and
Oh
cheese
yeah,
bites, it's
forgot about the
sliders.
chicken.
Oh, so
Yeah.
many places had sliders, man, of whatever. Grilled empanadas, grilled, quesadillas, just
Sure.
nothing great. And so I think in my head, I thought there'd be more options where I'm like, oh, I'm eating a meal. But the meals that I ate were from like Saturday on. I never one bought a meal from Saturday on, and the actual sit down meals we had were like two. Everything else was a hospitality event or a catered like banquet meal.
Right. Yeah,
So
and you're kind of at the mercy of whatever's going on. I mean, I get it, and you're there for business. You got to keep your strength up. It's not like you can
mhm.
have 2 carrot sticks and fucking move on with your day. That's your meal, you gotta eat. So, it
but
happens.
I came
It
back.
happens.
I got in. Honestly, I bet I was heavier on Monday.
Right?
I had salads and a pretty reasonable Wednesday kind of thing, and then Thursday, today, pretty reasonable. Also had uh, didn't couldn't have had that many calories. So you know,
I also I also think if you'd have been in the groove, it would have been easier.
I think so
If
too.
you'd had
Absolutely.
2 or 3 months under your belt, you're like, "Oh, shit, I don't wanna eat like I did back in October."
Right.
But if you're like, well, I could eat like I did last week,
Right.
that makes it a little tougher,
Yeah.
So I get it. I totally get it. It's you gotta retrain yourself. You gotta get in the habit, and yeah, Did you get any sales? Did you do any good?
Yeah. Oh, it was great. It was a great event. Really felt like I lengthened or gained knowledge, got smarter about the products, met the people I needed to meet, had a way forward, moving forward with a lot of good products. So it was very. Feel like I have the most momentum. Feel like I was building momentum, and now I feel like I have the most momentum that I've had in a hot minute, and it's kind of rolled over into this week where I've had a lot of little wins here and there. So, yeah, work wise, I'm doing great. Health wise, not my
And
best week.
and I will also say it's harder to make good choices when you're under stress. And
Sure.
even though you're at an event, you're not at work, but you're still under stress. You've got contacts coming up. You've got meetings with people that you've got to prepare for. You've got sales pitches you have to make successfully. So you've got low grade stress. It's like a low hum coming out of your, like your amplifier. You'll hear it. It's just a little bit of a low grade hum that you got in your head all the time. It's just kind of there. You're not there on vacation.
Right.
You're fucking working. And even
Yeah.
when you go out to relax, there's a good chance you got clients with you. There's a good chance you can't really even just cut loose then and
Right.
relax because you still got fucking people you got to talk to. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
the business environment absolutely a challenge, no question about it.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk challenge round this week. I know what I want to do
Okay.
because I know what I haven't been doing. It's a combo. So I have a smart scale upstairs that I'm going to start weighing in on and then linking that to my fitness pal so then that tracks my daily weight. I think there are times that I go, "Oh, I just won't weigh in this morning," then I don't have to face that reality. Nope, that's not fair.
I had a smart scale for a while, but it kept screaming at me to get off. So I had to
Yeah.
get rid of it.
It's too
I
sentient.
apparently bought the smart ass scale.
Yeah,
So
that's fine. Nice. Uh So that's part of it, but really tracking my meals every day. I know that's a cop out that we use when we're not a cop out, but it's certainly something. It is a habit that we use whenever we're way off track. One of us goes, "All right, I'm tracking my meals every day this week."
yeah. Well, what you're doing is you're being conscious.
Right,
It'd be nice to be evolved enough to go, I'm just going to be more conscious of what I eat. But that ain't how it works for me, and probably not you either.
right. Well,
So that's just our way of being consciously eating.
and one of my main goals, the main ways I'm going to start looking at this is that I'm going in my head. I'm saying, okay, 600 calories every meal. Right, that'll put me at 1800. If I
Hmm.
go, and I think it will help qualm cravings to not be hungry at the next meal, right? If it's not only is it limiting yourself to 600 calories, but it's also knowing that if I only eat 300 calories, I'm really going to want to eat 900 calories come lunchtime if I only eat 300
Right.
calories for breakfast.
Yeah, that's fair.
And,
By the way, I think the word you wanted to use there was quell,
what did
and
I
I
say?
know you qualm.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's right.
I know it's hard, but I know you wouldn't like me if I didn't tell you that, and I let you go out in public saying that. So
Right. No, trust me, I've been around in business situations where somebody has said things like that where I'm like, that is not the right thing.
I've told you my story about working at the casino. My first day after being in management, I was in a meeting with my high boss, and he said, "Irregardless, it's a mute point," and I wanted to just get up and fucking walk out. I'm like, yeah, that's not. I'm out. I'm out.
Can't believe
So
you're my boss. Yes.
you were right. There. Oh, that definitely thought crossed my mind, but it was a mute point. So who cares?
Yeah. So okay, so that's gonna be my goal: tracking, but also with weighing in on the app. I also here's something that really sucks. I'll tell you that much. I um y- listen to music like any person when they work out,
Okay.
and uh when I was getting ready the last day in Chicago, I had one of my AirPods in because I had we had Airbnb, so I had like a roommate, a coworker roommate, and so I didn't have both of them in because I didn't want to,
Be
you know,
surprised if he's
yeah,
trying to get a hold.
right. If he was saying something, I also didn't have neither of them in because I didn't want him to listen to the YouTube video I was listening to on the side while I was packing up my clothes or whatever.
Okay.
And I took out that headphone and apparently just laid it on the bed and never put it back in the case. And I left it in Chicago. So, and they can't find it. So I'm plumb fucked. So I only have one earbud right now, which sucks for working out at the gym. So I'm
Talk to
either
your sister.
wait, what?
Talk to your sister. I may have an extra set around here too.
Yeah,
Oh, look.
we'll figure it out.
It's
So,
your sister gets the burners from China,
oh, nice, nice. Yeah,
but they're
well,
good.
and allegedly, I think I have Apple Care on it. I might be able to claim the roundabout way is. I'm like, man, it is going to be a struggle for me to want to go to the gym if I can't do that. But I think I'm gonna power through. I'm gonna find a way to do it. So, I'll still be going
You
to the
know,
gym, but it'll just suck.
you know what else? Go to the go buy yourself a set of wireless headphones
Yeah,
until
right.
you get more AirPods. You know,
Yeah, yeah. That is the cheap, or just use Tina's when I'm going to the gym in the morning. I think that's also
yeah,
an option. So, yeah,
or
I'm not making excuses, but man, that did suck. Where I'm like, God damn it, it's one of those things. I
yes.
got home and I was just like, I
I'd
opened, I
I'd
got
like
on the plane and opened up my headphone case and I went, shit.
I'd love to have everything back I've left in hotel rooms.
Yeah.
That's just I really would.
Well, and I had these AirPods for like 4 years, 3 or 4 years, and hadn't lost them. And I was like, dude, I'm doing so good with these. Fucking
Right?
dumb. So
All
we'll figure
right.
it out. All right, man, you just did so well. I feel like it's hard for you to make a challenge. It sounds like you did. I don't think I don't think you should change anything. What you're doing is working, so I don't want
Yep.
to have push you almost too far and then have it break, because once one thing breaks, it gets easier to break everything else down. I think
All
you
right.
stick with what you're doing. You keep flipping that switch. You keep that switch off. Stay away from carbs. I
Yeah.
think you're in a great spot. I think my
Try to
goal.
walk. I'm gonna try to get more steps in. I'm gonna try to walk a little more. I am gonna try to. I'm gonna look at my step total. I'm gonna try to increase it by like let's say 10%.
Sure, sure, absolutely. And I think this week is going to be more of a flipping the switch for me. It's going to be, I don't, we've got a birthday kind of Christmas dinner coming up tomorrow night. I think we're going to
Mhm.
hibachi. We talked about this. It's one of those things where on the surface you're like, shit, hibachi sounds hard. I thought about it in the car. I'm just going to switch out for rice and say, hey man, can I get extra teriyaki veggies? Because I love the veggies. I love the veggies too. That's what I'm kind of realizing is I always realize this and we always talk about this and I never do it, where I'm like, I like vegetables. I like the taste of, I don't dislike the taste of many things, where I'm like, there's no reason I shouldn't be snacking on artichoke hearts or actually filling things instead of Snickers bars, And
Right.
but it's like I need to bring those snacks to work, I think, because there's oatmeal cream pies. There was zingers today. There's a bowl of candy. There's M&Ms. I mean, it is just not a nightmare, but it is a super easy snackable place at work right now, and I need to
And
get away from that.
that is one of the things about working from home is you can control your environment.
Oh
You
yeah.
can control what you eat, when you eat, what kind of snacks are around. I don't envy having to do it in the real world.
Well, and it gives you like an hour back on your day. Also, I mean, it would give me 45 minutes back on my day. Well, at least an hour
Yeah.
back on my day of 30 minutes of getting ready, 15 minutes of driving to work, and 15 minutes of driving home. And
Right.
really, everybody knows when you get home, you're not really relaxing until you've got yourself up and then cooked dinner or changed clothes or
New clothes and yeah, absolutely,
did the long
absolutely.
bathroom trip after you get home, whatever. So it's
All right.
there is
Well,
like an hour to hour and a half that you lose.
I'm ready to rock and roll. I don't expect another 10-pound week. I'm going to be honest with you, but um, I'd be happy with a 3 to 4 pound week. That'd be fine.
I
That'd be
need a
that.
10-pound week. I need one for me. That's what I need is a 10-pound week.
Well, give this a shot, man. Like I said, I was aiming for 65 carbs,
Hmm.
and I didn't want to go below 50 because I didn't want to mess around with being in ketosis and
Yeah.
having the keto flu and all that stuff. I don't. That's not my goal.
Right.
This is, my goal is just to lower the carbs and lower the sugar
I think
and
my
eat
goal,
food.
one of my goals is to gonna go and find healthy things to snack on that I really enjoy. So I think like getting the meat and cheese roll ups,
Uh huh.
the deli meat roll ups from like Costco, and maybe
Yeah.
getting like a thing of avocado or like guacamole that I can dip those in or whatever, and then also giving the options of like also bringing like the artichokes in or other veggies that I find easy to snack on and really good, like delicious. So,
All right. Sounds like a plan. Let's do it.
yes, sir. All right. So
All right.
that sets us up, guys. We really appreciate it. Again, if you guys are listening to this, you're listening on YouTube, watching at home, doing whatever you are. Spotify, also YouTube, Apple is what I meant to say that second time. If you guys have a weight loss story that you'd like to share with us, we are absolutely looking for more people to have come on and and tell us their stories. I'm probably going to put out. We keep recording this, and we get done at like 10:15, and I go, oh, I need to put out a tweet, and I go, shit, nobody's going to read a tweet at 10:30 p.m. But listen, we want to hear your weight loss stories. We'd love to have you on the podcast. No weight loss story is too boring. Everybody's weight loss story is different and should be celebrated. And especially if you did it the healthy way, we'd love to help celebrate you, learn from what you did. Let that inspire us. Let that inspire others. That's the point. So we want to start doing more of that on this show. We'll have a couple moms minutes coming up, but listen, we don't want to drag out these episodes where it's just me and you just catching up and doing this. So is that everything?
I think that's it, buddy. I think that's it. On to the next one.
Awesome. Guys, appreciate you for being here. The believers, the dreamers, and even the fat guys. We'll see you next week. Hopefully another 10-pound week from Scott. Hopefully 10-pound week from me. 10-pound weeks for everybody. Everybody have a 10-pound week.
Everybody, you're getting a 10-pound week. You're getting a 10-pound week. Let's do it. Let's do it.
See you guys.